Hello everyone and welcome to my channel where I play and review retro games. Today I'm going to try out Breath of Fire, a game that was released in 1993 for the SNES and is now part of the Switch Online library. Breath of Fire is the first game in a long-running series of RPGs by Capcom, and it tells the story of Ryu, a young warrior from the Light Dragon clan who sets out on a quest to stop the evil Dark Dragon clan from awakening a powerful goddess. Along the way, he meets a colorful cast of characters, each with their own unique abilities and personalities. I've never played this game before, so I'm curious to see how it holds up in the modern era. I've heard that it has some interesting features, such as the ability to transform into different types of dragons, and a fishing mini-game that lets you catch and cook various fish. I've also heard that it has some flaws, such as a clunky translation, a high encounter rate, and a lack of balance in some of the battles. But I'm willing to give it a fair chance and see what it has to offer. So without further ado, let's start the game and see what happens. I'm going to play on the normal difficulty setting, and I'm going to use the default names for the characters. The game begins with a cutscene that explains the backstory of the world and the conflict between the dragon clans. It looks pretty impressive for an SNES game, with some nice sprite animations and a catchy music track. The cutscene then transitions to the present day, where we see the Dark Dragon clan attacking a village of the Light Dragon clan. We see a brave warrior named Sarah, who is Ryu's sister, using her magic to protect the villagers and confront the Dark Dragon leader Zog. She tells Ryu to escape and find the other dragon warriors, and then she sacrifices herself to create a barrier that blocks Zog's path. This is a pretty dramatic opening, and it sets the tone for the game. We then take control of Ryu, who wakes up in a cave and finds a sword and a shield. He decides to follow his sister's advice and look for the other dragon warriors. He exits the cave and enters the overworld map, where he can explore and encounter random enemies. The combat system is turn-based, and it's pretty simple. You can choose to attack, use magic, use an item, or run away. Ryu can also use his dragon power, which lets him transform into a dragon and unleash a powerful attack. However, this consumes a lot of magic points, so it's best to save it for boss battles. The enemies are varied and colorful, and some of them can be quite challenging. You have to be careful with your health and magic, and make sure to heal and save often. As Ryu travels the world, he meets new allies who join his party. The first one is Bo, a wolfman who is good at hunting and tracking. He can also use a bow and arrow to hit enemies from a distance. The second one is Nina, a winged princess who can fly and use healing magic. She can also use wind spells to damage enemies and manipulate the environment. The third one is Khan, a thief who can unlock doors and chests. He can also fuse with other party members to create new forms with different abilities. The fourth one is Gobi, a fishman who can swim and breathe underwater. He can also buy and sell items at a higher price. The fifth one is Ox, a strongman who can break walls and lift heavy objects. He can also use fire spells to burn enemies and obstacles. The sixth one is Blur, a snake woman who is a master of magic. She can use all kinds of spells, from elemental attacks to status effects. And the last one is Mogu, a mole man who can dig underground and find hidden passages. He can also use earth spells to shake enemies and cause landslides. Each character has their own personality and backstory, and they interact with each other and the NPCs in humorous and sometimes touching ways. The game has a lot of dialogue, but unfortunately the translation is not very good. There are many spelling and grammar errors, and some of the sentences are awkward or confusing. For example, when Ryu meets Nina for the first time, she says, "I'm Nina, the Wing Clan's princess. I'm looking for my lost sister." But later she says, "I'm looking for my sister. She's the Wing Clan's princess." This makes it seem like Nina is not the princess, but her sister is. There are also some instances where the characters say things that don't make sense or contradict themselves. For example, when Ryu meets Karn for the first time, he says, "I'm Karn, the famous thief. I can open any door or chest." But later he says, "I can't open this door. It's too hard." This makes it seem like Karn is not a very good thief, or he's lying about his skills. These translation errors can be annoying, and they can sometimes affect the gameplay, as you might miss important clues or instructions. The game also has some other issues, such as a high encounter rate, which can make exploring tedious and frustrating. The game does have a feature that lets you reduce the encounter rate by using an item called a smoke, but it's not very effective, and it wears off quickly. The game also has some balance problems, as some of the battles are too easy, and some are too hard. For example, some of the bosses can be defeated in 1 or 2 hits, while some of the regular enemies can wipe out your party in a few turns. The game also has some bugs and glitches, such as characters disappearing from the screen, or enemies attacking after they're dead. These issues can be annoying, and they can sometimes affect the gameplay, as you might lose progress or get stuck. However, despite these flaws, the game also has a lot of charm and fun. The game has a colorful and detailed graphics with some nice animations and effects. The game also has a catchy and memorable soundtrack, with some tunes that fit the mood and the setting. The game also has a lot of content and variety, with different locations, puzzles, mini-games, and secrets to discover. The game also has a lot of replay value, as you can choose different paths and endings, depending on your actions and choices. The game also has a lot of personality and humor, with some funny and quirky characters, dialogue, and situations. The game also has a lot of heart and emotion, with some touching and dramatic moments, especially near the end. Overall, Breath of Fire is a game that has its ups and downs, but it's still a game that I enjoyed playing. It's a game that shows its age, but it's also a game that has a lot of charm and fun. It's a game that has some flaws, but it's also a game that has a lot of strengths. It's a game that might not appeal to everyone, but it's a game that I would recommend to anyone who likes retro RPGs. It's a game that is worth trying out, especially if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, or you can use any Nintendo Switch or Sense emulator to play the game. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll give Breath of Fire a try. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of new uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!